Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host 𝗒𝙪𝗦. Please subscribe to this channel and also like this video. I have some new information about why Trump is suddenly going after George Soros. See, I am an independent, so I don't have any bias towards one party or the other. We have to bear in mind that in 2016, Soros did actually donate to the Republican candidate Donald Trump when he ran for his first term as president. So he has contributed money. That money has to have some namak, right? Some salt that goes with it. So is this now the new thing that the Trump administration is saying? Is this something that they are going to say, okay, that for that term, it doesn't apply for this time. This time you did not give us any donation. And not only that, you have been a bad boy. You've done a lot of bad things. So we are coming after you. Is that what it is? So I'm going to give you the real reason right at the end. Wrap me on knuckles if I forget to tell you, because that is the real reason why he's going after it. And let me just show you a quick summary via infographic on what's really going on in the Washington, D.C., the capital of United States. So what is RICO? Trump is targeting Soros on many counts. One of them is RICO. What RICO is? The racketeer, influenced and corrupt organizations. This is a very strong act and it is very powerful also, and anybody who can be charged under this can be into a lot of trouble. So you can ask me, what is this? It's now already 7 months. Why did he not do this thing before? There is a reason for that, and I'll come to that reason in just a moment. So this is the main thing that Trump seems to be using. There are three things that he is trying to use, and we are going to go through all those three things. The federal law is typically used, that is the RICO Act, to combat organized crime. Why is he saying this could be organized crime? Because the reason for that is that people keep saying that, you know, all those people coming from Venezuela or Honduras or some of the other countries, right? Everybody, they had help along the way. Somebody was taking them by buses. Somebody was giving them clothing. I'm also hearing that in some sets, their big bags were taken away and then told that we will finally reach you to this location in New York, something like that. I'm just giving a name. And that your baggage will be there waiting for you. In fact, if you remember, many of the five-star hotels, including the Roosevelt, which Pakistan owns, was rented out to all these illegals. And when it was time for them to go, they did not want to go. In fact, they made a mess of the whole place. So all these things have been done. And also there is the other allegation that it was Soros who appointed some of the disastrous district attorneys who was funding their election in the big Democratic-run state cities like Chicago or Georgia, Atlanta, or New York City. Because if you look at all these candidates, you will see that they all seem to have a certain characteristic. Not very good at their job and coming up with some, hard to believe allegations which they cannot substantiate at trial time. So these are all things that are now beginning to start, bubble up slowly. And people are saying, wait a minute, now Trump is saying enough is enough. I'm going to go after you, George Soros. This is not just George Soros. It is not just Alex Soros and his wife, Huma Abedin, but the Open Society Foundation also. So all the things that he is going after, this can be captured in the way of 1, 2, 3. I'll come to that in just a moment. Let's take a look at what is Soros's financial profile. What is he, accused of? He's a prominent target because he has been giving liberal support to progressive causes and to the Democratic Party. The chart you are seeing tells you the percentage of, how much his involvement is. Progressive causes, 40%. And then you have Democratic politicians, 35%, and human rights and democracy funding focus is about 25%. Things like 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥 Foundation, from which Equality Labs got the money, out of which then they went out to this caste discrimination. And they're still active, which means the money is still finding its way through to all these corrupt organizations. So I'm just giving you an example. There are many such organizations, and all these things are basically working under a democratic veneer, but it's not easy to see. How did I find out that the Democrats are behind this 𝙦𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥 Foundation, which financed Equality Labs. You go on and look at who was running Tides Foundation. The person who was running it was an African American who had worked in the Obama administration. And then I start digging further, 2 or 3 of them were. So this tells you that all these are fronts. Democrats are not our friends, especially Indian Americans who are watching. These people have it for us. Yes, Republicans don't like us either, but at least they tell it to us to our face. You have a chance that, okay, this is what this guy has, and you can at least rebut him with facts. The Democrats, on the other hand, are doing a termite-like approach to try and ruin all Indian Americans. Now, what else is happening? So the first, it was just rhetoric that Trump was saying in public speeches that he is going to go after George Soros. And now, in late September, the campaign escalated as reports emerged of the Department of Justice instructing federal prosecutors to prepare for potential investigation into open society foundations, marking a significant step towards potential legal challenges. Now, the DOJ directive has been issued to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now, federal prosecutors are attorneys who are asked to prepare for potential investigations, and then there will be potential charges that could be brought up against them. Now, all these things, why is it suddenly coming to the fore? Well, I told you, right? I'm going to give you the reason, and it has something to do with the foiled assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Now it is becoming more and more clear that first one in summer last year, when he just got a part of his ear lost, but he just luckily moved his head. Otherwise, he would have been a goner. And again, that one is not the guy who has been shot dead as the shooter. There is somebody else. That is the theory that is gaining credibility, that there might have been somebody else, because it's too accurate, viewers. Also, look at presidential candidates nowadays routinely wear bulletproof vests. That means you cannot get them from below the neck. Then that means you have a much smaller target to work with, which is between the neck and the head. I'm sorry to say all these things in such gory detail, but somewhere something has happened, and Trump has been advised by the investigating teams that, look, somebody was after you, and it was not the guy who was caught. Again, if you look at what happened to Charlie Kirk, same story. There's a youngster who has lost his way, but do you think that person standing 400 feet away could have taken out Charlie Kirk? Again, questions are coming. Okay, so what are the 3 reasons for which the Trump administration is looking at George Soros? The first one is that midterm elections are coming, and I'm sure Soros has lined up his money, and he will give more money to people who have tough races for Democrats, and so that they can tide over that toughness and so on and so forth. So initially what happened was that there were 3 things. First of all, there were public statements, and that was about 90% strategic impact metric, meaning like once you start issuing public statements, then the other person is put on notice, then the Open Society Foundation has rebutted it. I've given a bunch of links in the description section. You can go and look at that, Open Society Foundation's rebuttal, and so on and so forth. Then you have legal threats that have been issued, and now you are seeing reported donor confidence. This is the interesting thing. That means that fewer people are now funding George Soros, Democratic Party, that owe allegiance or they find their way through the George Soros Foundation or some funded foundation. I was looking for that word. See, a lot of obfuscation happens. You don't even know who is the end source of these things, because these things are being done through many organizations, shell corporations, and so on and so forth. Clearly, there is word on the street now. We will have to get George Soros on RICO, and whether they'll do it or not, that's another matter. Whether they'll send him to jail at 92 or 93, we don't even know if he is he's still sane, or if he's in sort of like unfortunate facility. But I think this will be a message to the deep state, perhaps, because we always say that George Soros is just the face of the deep state, that deep state has actually removed some of the funding that it was given to George Soros. These are all things that some of our guests said. I'm not saying it, I'm just paraphrasing it for them. So be that as it may, like I said, none of this thing will ever see the light of the day. You and I will never be able to prove this person is deep state, this person is not deep state, this person did this, and so on and so forth. But the two incidents, the assassination attempt against Trump as well as the assassination of Charlie Kirk, where the carotid artery was accurately hit at, and that kind of stuff cannot be done from that far. Also, he was sitting, Charlie Kirk was sitting in his chair, which means it was very low. So more questions being asked there. That's all I have for now. This is where things stand, and you can ask me any questions that you may have. Let me see. Okay, are there any questions? Oh, I guess not. There are no questions, and we'll keep you posted, guys. This is the main reason there is a big concern in the Trump administration, that there is a concerted attempt. And also, we have our 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 with enclosure and without for sale. If you want to get it with enclosure, all you need to do is, you can see on the top right corner of your screen, or maybe if you're watching top left corner of your screen, there is a QR code. All you need to do is to just scan that, and it will take you directly to the products page, and you can order your 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 with enclosure. Otherwise, you can always go to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and you can look at our other products, and you can buy it from there also. Okay, so that's all I have. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and please do subscribe to our channel. We need to cross the 1 million mark. We are very, very close. We still have some distance to go, and with your help, we can scale that thing very quickly. Thank you once again. Namaskar.